Good morning everyone, Ben Selby here, the Managing Director of Right at Home South Cheshire. It's the very last day of Dementia Awareness Week 2017, so I thought it'd be a really good idea to do a short video just to explain my favourite part of the session, which is the bookcase analogy, explaining the way dementia affects a person. We've been really busy this week doing Dementia Friends throughout the Crewe and Nantwich area. We've done 6 sessions, creating almost 100 additional Dementia Friends in the local area, and that's something we're going to continue to do. So, the bookcase analogy. It's a very, very simple way of explaining how dementia affects a person. So, first of all, if you imagine that I'm an 80-year-old person, imagine that I have dementia. Now, next to me, we've got a bookcase, and it's full, packed to the rafters with books that all represent memories, facts, skills, things that have happened throughout my life. Right at the very top here, we've got the most recent books, aka my short-term memory, if you like. So things that I did this morning, for example, what I had for breakfast, who I spoke to, what we talked about. We go down a level. I'm in my 60s, so perhaps retiring, spending more time with some of my grown-up family and grandchildren, going on cruises maybe. We go down, I'm in my 40s. That's probably right at the peak of my working life, probably having relatively grown-up children, hopefully maybe getting towards the point where I've paid for my mortgage, going on family holidays, things like that. We go down, I'm in my 20s, so having young children, getting married, going on family holidays, building a home. And that goes all the way to the bottom, to my very most recent memories. So perhaps something like learning to ride a bike for the first time, or perhaps a really inspiring teacher I can remember from going to school as a young child. Now what dementia does is it effectively rocks my bookcase from side to side, and that might be very, very different depending on the type of dementia I might have, or it might be so it could be really, really slow rocking, it could be really fast sometimes, and that could vary throughout the time I have dementia. But what will happen as a result of my bookcase rocking from side to side, and the books are going to fall off, and typically they're going to start falling off from the top first, so those earliest memories, those short-term memories will start to fall off. And remember, each of them representing a memory, a skill or a fact, something like that. And dementia is progressive, so it will continually keep rocking, and those books over time will fall off. And imagine we get to a point where pretty much all of the books up here have all gone. So in my mind, we're in the 1950s. Anything beyond that doesn't really exist to me. So we're in the 1950s, and that's my reality. So if you perhaps jump into my reality for a moment, and imagine I go and do a really simple thing, like make a cup of tea. So I walk into my 2017 kitchen, but in my mind it's 1950s. Think how different that's going to be for me, and think of the challenges I might come across. You know, the kettle, for example. I'm certainly not expecting an electric kettle, just like pretty much every other appliance that's in the kitchen. That might be quite confusing to me, but first thing I'm probably going to do with that kettle, fill it with water and pop it on the hob. Straight away, I'm potentially really at risk of scalding myself, burning, causing a fire. You know, even things like tea bags. Alien in the 1950s. What am I going to do? I'm probably going to start to tear those tea bags open. Even the milk, you know, probably going to go into the fridge. If I can get into it, you know, it might be a big American fridge freezer. In there, I'm probably going to see a big plastic 4-pint jug of milk, and I'm expecting to see a small 1-pint glass bottle, most likely. So all these little things that really could stop me being able to make my own cup of tea. Now let's think about what we could do to make some really subtle changes and make that so it's an environment that works with me and embraces my reality. So maybe let's just change the kettle to one that we can stick on the hob. That might be all I need to go and make myself a cup of tea. Maybe we could get tea leaves rather than have tea bags in the house. Maybe we could still get milk in a milk jug. You can still get the milk delivered from the milkman. You can still get milk in 1-pint bottles. These little tiny things could just be all I need to make a real difference and help me feel valued, so I can just go make my own cup of tea. A little thing to us, but a real big thing potentially to somebody who's living with dementia. So what I've told you about is actually only one part of the brain, and this is one bookcase, and there's actually a second bookcase over here that has different types of memories in it. And these memories are more about feelings and emotions. So for every book over here on this bookcase, every fact, everything I can specifically remember or potentially forget, there is a corresponding book over here. So if we think about perhaps when I got married in my 20s, when I got married, those feelings of emotions of that being an absolutely fantastic day, I'm marrying the woman I want to spend the rest of my life with. Even something as small as very much this morning, having a really positive conversation and having a real good laugh, a political debate or something, all of those emotions that were connected to that conversation are over here on this bookshelf. Now, the thing is, both of these bookcases are made from completely different materials, and therefore dementia will affect them in very different ways. So let's imagine this one over here, the factual bookcase if you like, as being a really shoddy, cheap IKEA bookcase. Other cheap bookcases are available that are shoddy. So it's not very dementia resistant at all. On this side, my feelings and emotions bookcase, imagine it's a solid oak bookcase, so it's very, very dementia resistant. So when dementia affects me, it rocks those bookcases from side to side, although I may well lose many of the books off this side, the facts, the facts, the skills, the specifics, I may well still have those feelings and emotions connected to those events that happened. So if we think about that in an example, maybe you come and visit me and we have a little bit of an argument because I can't remember your name. You know, I've got dementia, that book's dropped off, I can't remember your name. And you think to yourself, do you know what? Why do I bother even going to visit Grandad Ben? What's the point? You know, every time we have a conversation, he always just forgets about it. And then you think, do you know what? Maybe it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter we had that argument because he's gone anyway, he's forgotten. So we're forgetting that actually there's a fair to good chance that the feelings and emotions connected with that are still there. So imagine that. I'm there, you've left, you think it doesn't matter, Ben's forgotten about it, but actually I may well still have those feelings you have after having an argument, so upset, sad, maybe angry as well, and even worse, I might not remember exactly why I feel like that. And then if we think about another example, imagine you come and visit me, you take me out for the day and we have a wonderful day together. Maybe we go out to one of our favourite places, we go to Nantwich Lake, we have ice cream, we have a really good laugh, and you're driving me home and I forget where we've been. And you think to yourself, do you know what, why do I even bother? Every time I visit Ben, I'll take him out. He just forgets what we've done anyway, so maybe it's not worth it. But actually, don't forget, those feelings are probably still there. There's a fair to good chance that I'll still have those connections with I've had a fantastic day out, I feel really valued, I feel like somebody's actually spoken to me, we've had a really good day together. I might not remember specifically what we've spoken about, but I'll still know that we've had a really good day. And you know what, that's something that I must say, when my granddad was in residential care, my granddad lived with Alzheimer's and dementia, and he was up in Lancaster, and when I had to travel up, I had to travel up to go and see him, obviously a lot of the time he didn't remember who I was and he didn't remember what we did, but one thing that the staff there did say to me was that please do keep coming to visit him, because every time you come, in their words, he's much easier to deal with in the afternoon. And that actually made me want to come back. So I thought, you know what, that's good. It's a good thing. He must be in a good place. And that's what that was, I think. You know, he still had those feelings and emotions connected to what hopefully was a really, really good, nice visit for him. And that's the message there, really. You know, if you do know somebody, or if you have somebody in your life who has dementia, don't think it's not worth going to visit them. Do spend time with them. And it's hard as a carer, I understand that. But it still can help that person to live very, very well with their dementia, and don't think you're not doing a fantastic thing by doing it. So that is the bookcase analogy. I hope you kind of enjoyed that and it helps you maybe understand dementia a little bit more. And we're going to be doing many, many more Dementia Friends sessions throughout the year. If you want to talk to any of us, by the way, that's our contact number there. If you're interested in knowing a little bit more about the support we can perhaps provide, somebody living with dementia, or anybody at all actually who wants to live at home independently but does need that little bit of help, please do give us a call. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and happy Dementia Awareness Week 2017, everyone. Cheers, bye-bye.